Have you ever felt like your spiritual practice isn't delivering the transformation you hoped for? You're not alone. Many of us unknowingly cling to beliefs that hinder our growth. And so in this video, we'll explore something called spiritual bypassing, which is a hidden and destructive barrier to authentic spiritual growth and development. Well, we'll cover the myths and we'll cover the misconceptions that keep us stuck, or as some say, blocked, and how to cultivate a more grounded approach to personal transformation. I'll share my insights that explain why our best intentioned beliefs may be holding us back. If you're ready to move beyond surface level spirituality, join me for the next few minutes. It could really help you stay on track. So, what do we mean by spiritual bypassing? John Welwood, a Buddhist teacher and psychotherapist, coined the term spiritual bypassing in 1984. So it's nothing new. 41 years old. There you go. And it is worthy of our consideration because he defines it as a tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, and unfinished developmental tasks. So awareness of spiritual bypassing is really important to us. To look at this in some depth, we need to question the constant positivity promoted by many in the field of spiritual growth. If we imagine a world where every emotion is embraced, where the full spectrum of human experience is honoured, this may sound challenging. But what if accepting all our feelings is the key to true spiritual growth? Many of us on a spiritual path have encountered the idea that enlightenment means constant joy and positivity. We've been told that negative emotions are obstacles to overcome, that true spiritual beings exist in a state of perpetual bliss. And this belief has become deeply ingrained in spiritual communities, promising a life free from anxiety and confusion. But pause for a moment and consider, how does this spiritual belief align with our actual experiences? You see, when you feel anger rising within you, or sadness weighing heavy on your heart, do you welcome these emotions or push them away? For many of us, there's a distinct tension between what we feel and what we believe we should feel. That's crucial. A distinct tension between what we feel and what we believe we should feel. This discontent can lead to shame, guilt, or a sense of spiritual inadequacy. What an awful word, spiritual inadequacy. But it is a sense of spiritual inadequacy that many people have experienced. We may find ourselves using affirmations or spiritual practices as a shield, deflecting difficult emotions rather than processing them properly. This is the very essence of spiritual bypass, using spiritual ideas, beliefs, and practices to avoid dealing with challenging emotional and psychological issues. Oh, there are times we'd all like to run away, aren't there? But research in psychology has shown that suppressing negative emotions can have very detrimental effects on our well-being. Most of us know this from our personal experiences, and negative emotions tend to resurface again and again and again, creating more stress and more dissatisfaction with our lives, our relationships, and our spiritual growth. You see, when we consistently push away feelings of anger, sadness, or fear, we're not just avoiding discomfort, we're potentially harming ourselves. Studies have linked emotional suppression to increased stress hormone levels, a compromised immune function, and even cardiovascular problems. Our bodies and minds are designed to process the full range of human emotions. Each feeling serves a purpose, providing valuable information about our experiences and needs. Anger can signal a boundary violation. Sadness can help us process loss, and fear can alert us to potential dangers. When we deny these emotions, we're cutting ourselves off from essential aspects of our human experience. The pursuit of constant positivity can create a psychological barrier to growth. By avoiding or denying parts of ourselves, we prevent genuine healing and integration from occurring. It's like trying to build a house while ignoring the foundation. Eventually, the structure will become unstable. Authentic spirituality embraces both the light and shadow aspects of our being. It recognizes that all emotions have value and purpose along our journey. Instead of seeking to eliminate negative emotions, we can learn to approach them with curiosity and compassion. This doesn't mean wallowing in negativity, but rather allowing ourselves to fully experience and learn from all our emotions. When we open ourselves to the full range of human experience, we create space for deeper self-understanding and genuine transformation. We may discover that what we once perceived as negative emotions are actually catalysts for growth, pushing us to confront unresolved issues or inspiring us to make positive changes in our lives. Consider how you might be using spiritual practices to avoid uncomfortable feelings. Are there areas of your life where you're resisting negative emotion? Perhaps you use meditation to escape feelings of loneliness, or positive affirmations to mask underlying securities. While these practices can be valuable tools for self-improvement, they can become problematic when used as a means of avoidance. Or perhaps your strong belief in the afterlife masks accepting that the here and now are vital experiences. So, instead of seeing negative emotions as obstacles to be overcome, try viewing them as messengers carrying important information. When you feel anger, sadness, or fear arising, take a moment to pause and listen. What is this emotion trying to tell you? What need or boundary is it highlighting? By approaching your emotions with curiosity rather than judgment, you open the door to deeper self-awareness and healing. Remember, embracing negative emotions doesn't mean letting them control you. It's about finding a balance between acknowledging your feelings and responding to them in a healthy way. This might involve practices like mindful breathing, journaling, or seeking support from a therapist or trusted friend. As you continue on your spiritual journey, challenge yourself to create space for all your emotions. Notice when you're tempted to push away difficult feelings and gently remind yourself that all emotions are valid and worthy of your attention. By doing so, you're not only honouring your full humanity, but also paving the way for more authentic spiritual growth. And as we explore authentic spiritual growth, let's pause for a moment and reflect on our journey so far. Have you ever felt a twinge of frustration when your spiritual practice doesn't seem to yield faster results? If so, then you're not alone. Many of us on the path of self-discovery fall into the trap of expecting rapid enlightenment or repeated successes, and this misconception can significantly hinder our progress. The belief in quick transformation is often fueled by promises of charismatic leaders or flashy marketing. We're bombarded with messages of overnight awakenings, setting us up for disappointment when our experiences don't align with these expectations. It's easy to feel like we're failing when we don't see immediate results, but this perspective can be misleading. Consider the historical accounts of spiritual awakening across various traditions. You see, these stories emphasize that true enlightenment is a gradual process rather than an instantaneous event. Many Eastern philosophies describe enlightenment as a culmination of years of meditation and self-reflection. Even where individuals report sudden insights, these moments are usually the result of long periods of practice and preparation. The science of neuroplasticity offers further insight into this gradual process. Much like a seed that requires time to bloom, our neural pathways adapt. This scientific insight reinforces timeless teachings found in meditation traditions, underscoring the importance of patience and persistence in our spiritual journey. The myth of instant enlightenment can lead us into a pattern of spiritual bypassing, where we hop from one practice to another, constantly seeking that elusive aha moment. Instead of doing the deep, often challenging work of self-reflection and integration, we may find ourselves chasing superficial experiences or quick fixes. This approach not only hinders our growth, but can also lead to a sense of spiritual materialism, where we treat enlightenment as a commodity to be acquired rather than a journey to be experienced. True spiritual growth often involves confronting our shadows and working through past traumas. And this process can be uncomfortable and time-consuming, but it's essential for genuine transformation. Many spiritual teachers emphasize that authentic growth often involves engaging with discomfort and understanding that the journey itself is as important as the destination. A good teacher will, of course, recommend a student for therapy or medical help, rather than leave a student to try to work through trauma by themselves. It's crucial to recognize that the path to enlightenment is more like tending a garden than flipping a switch. Just as a garden requires constant care and patience to flourish, our spiritual growth needs time and nurturing to unfold. This doesn't mean we won't experience moments of profound insight. Rather, it suggests that these moments are part of a larger ongoing process of growth and integration. As we continue our spiritual journey, cultivate a balance between enthusiasm and patience, appreciate the subtle, gradual changes that occur over time. Each small step, each moment of self-reflection and each challenge we face contributes to our overall growth and understanding. As we continue our explanation of spiritual growth, let's turn our attention to a phenomenon that often accompanies the desire for quick enlightenment: guru worship. Picture a spiritual teacher who seems to embody everything you aspire to be. They radiate wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. It's tempting to put them on a pedestal, isn't it? Or perhaps they market themselves as someone who was mentored by great pioneers who you admire. But what if this admiration is actually creating a hidden obstacle on your path to authentic growth? Many spiritual seekers fall into the trap of guru worship, projecting their own desires for perfection onto these teachers. This idealization can be deeply comforting, offering a sense of security and direction. However, it's like wearing rose-tinted glasses, distorting our perception of reality and hindering our ability to recognize our own inner wisdom. Think about that. You're hindering your ability to recognize your own inner wisdom. Psychological research indicates that excessive idealization of spiritual teachers can lead to cognitive dissonance. We may find ourselves ignoring red flags or rationalizing problematic behavior to maintain our belief in the guru's perfection. This disconnect can significantly cause a psychological drain, potentially leading to feelings of confusion, guilt, or even shame. Become aware of how this idealization can be a form of spiritual bypassing. By clinging too tightly to an idealized image, we inadvertently sidestep the difficult but necessary work of self-discovery. This avoidance can significantly hinder our personal growth and spiritual development. To cultivate a healthier approach to spiritual guidance, consider these steps. Number 1, practice discernment. Critically evaluate teachers' words and actions rather than accepting everything at face value. Number 2, embrace imperfection. Remember that even figures like the Buddha or Jesus exhibited human flaws. Number 3, trust your inner wisdom. Develop your own understanding rather than relying solely on external validation. And number 4, seek balanced relationships. Look for teachers who encourage questioning and personal exploration. Visualize historical examples of revered spiritual figures. Even these highly respected leaders exhibited human flaws and made mistakes. Recognizing this shared humanity can serve as a powerful reminder that spiritual growth is a personal journey, not one solely dependent on external figures. Bring your awareness to your own relationships with spiritual teachers or mentors. Are there areas where you might be projecting your own desires for perfection? How might your practice change if you embraced a more balanced view? Allow yourself to sit with these questions, observing any feelings or insights that arise without judgment. Remember that authentic spiritual growth comes from within. By cultivating discernment and trusting our own inner wisdom, we can engage with teachers in a healthier, more balanced way. This approach allows us to benefit from their guidance while still maintaining our own spiritual autonomy. As we conclude our exploration of spiritual bypassing, recognize that true spiritual growth embraces the full spectrum of human experience, including our shadows and imperfections. By acknowledging spiritual bypass, we open ourselves to authentic transformation and deeper self-understanding, breaking the cycle of avoidance. Continue your spiritual journey by embracing discomfort and challenging existing beliefs. Engage in self-reflection to identify personal tendencies towards spiritual bypassing. Consider seeking support from community resources or professional guidance to navigate this process. And commit to practices that integrate both light and shadow aspects of your spirituality. Trust your inner wisdom and allow yourself to be fully human. Remember, authentic spirituality navigates difficult emotions with compassion and wisdom. Your journey isn't about dodging the dark. It's about lighting your way through it. Reflect on your own practices and share your experiences in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today.